How did your parents fail you? My dad missed my graduation for a job interview. Mom promised he'd make it, kept checking her phone anxiously during the ceremony. I felt my heart sink when I scanned the crowd and didn't see him. After walking across the stage, I gripped my phone, waiting. No texts, no calls, nothing. Mom couldn't look me in the eyes when I found her. She hugged me too tight and whispered, "He really tried." My chest burned with anger I couldn't hide. At my graduation party, relatives kept asking about dad. Mom cycled through excuses: traffic, work emergency, car trouble. I watched her lying become more desperate with each person who asked. My friend pulled me aside and said, "You okay?" I just laughed and said, "He's done this since I was 7. Because it was true. He missed my championship game where I scored the winning point, missed my debate finals when I took first place, even missed my 18th birthday last year. That night after everyone left, I sat alone staring at my diploma. Mom tried to talk, but I cut her off. "Save it," I said, grabbing my keys. "I've heard it all before." I drove to my elementary school playground and sat on the same swing where dad used to push me before work consumed him, before he became just a voice I sometimes heard at 2 a.m. coming home. Something in me broke that night. The anger I'd bottled up for years finally spilled over. I texted him, "Congrats on showing me where I rank in your life." Message received. When I got home after midnight, dad's car was in the driveway. I found him at the kitchen table, head in his hands, papers scattered everywhere. Mom sat beside it, eyes red from crying. He looked up when I walked in. His face was gray with exhaustion. No tie, shirt rumpled like he'd been wearing it for days. "I'm sorry I missed your graduation," he said, voice hollow. I stood there, arms crossed, waiting for the excuse I'd heard 1,000 times before. "I thought this interview would change everything," he continued. His hands trembled as he pushed a folder toward me. Inside was a rejection letter dated that morning. The company had gone with another candidate. Mom spoke up, voice barely above a whisper. Dad's company had started layoffs 6 months ago. He was next on the list. We were 3 weeks from losing the house. The bank had denied our refinance applications twice. He'd been driving for Uber services on weekends, had been selling off his prized collection of vintage records one by one, had been skipping meals while still putting dinner on our table every night. The interview was his final hope. He'd begged them to reschedule around my graduation. They refused, said it was that day or never. During the interview, he'd talked about me, my achievements, how determined I was. He thought he'd connected with them, thought he'd impressed them enough. They kept him waiting for hours after the interview ended, made him think he had a chance. He sat in their lobby until security finally told him to leave. By then, graduation was long over. That night, I found a pawn ticket in his wallet while looking for aspirin in the bathroom. He'd pawned his watch, the one his father gave him before dying, to pay for my graduation gift. The same watch he'd always promised would be mine someday. When I confronted him about it, he just shrugged and said, "Some things matter more." The next morning, I found him asleep at the kitchen table, surrounded by more job applications. His phone showed he'd already applied to 17 places overnight. He failed me by missing my graduation, but the world failed him worse. He sacrificed the one moment he couldn't get back and got nothing in return.